How you doing? Welcome to Your World Tuesday edition. I'm your host Mukali, and every single Tuesday we talk matters relationship, and today is no different. Today, when we talk about relationship, it's not necessarily mpendwa wako, matters of the heart. That's a partner of yours. No. Today we are getting into the family unit. And something about the family unit is that it's very protected. It's very sacred. We love that unit. But then there are things that happen in that unit sometimes that, should not be happening. And we're getting in there today. And the topic today is the toxicity in families. And studies have shown that 1 in 3 adults report having at least one toxic relationship. But this could be anything. A sibling probably who belittles you, money issues like what was happening in the morning with Fixing the Nation, talking about, loans and borrowing money, especially in the family unit. It could be all of that. But then it's also a shocker that most people do not even know that they are in a toxic environment in that family. Because when you look at family, it is this place that we do not poke holes. That is how we are. That is how I grew up. That is what happens in our family and all of that. But today we're just taking a look at what does it look like when we talk about toxicity in the family. What do we mean? What are the indicators of this? And hey, I hope you're ready for this. I hope you're ready for this conversation. I don't think I am. Janet said, all the best to your world as you talk about these conversations. It's not one of the easy ones to have, but I have an amazing panel that will help me have this conversation with you because they are experts in this field, in their fields, and they will give us insight. Probably even help us process some of the things that we feel, but we do not know what it is or where to place them. So I will start by introducing my guest from, usually we do this, but nataka nianze uko mwisho kabisa. I will start with, on the farthest end, we have Marion Wambui Kienama, who's a marriage and family therapist. Thank you for coming on to the show today. Lovely to have you. Right next to Marion, we have Dr. Naomi Gaido, who's a counseling psychologist. Welcome to the show. Right next to Dr. Naomi, we have Grace Kariuki, who's a family counselor. Karibu sana. And last but not least, we've got Margaret Kimwaki, who's a toxicity survivor. Thank you for joining us. There's something happening with all the colors. They're all very feminine. Yeah, have you seen? There's a memo that was passing around. We've got a purple there, a bit of pink and red and purple and all of that. And of course, we have my amazing audience in the studio. Karibuni sana. Lovely to have you. When you talk about toxicity in the family, what does that even mean? How do we see it? How do we even understand it or recognize it? So maybe we could just start there with you, Marion.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Now, family toxicity is the extent to which a behavior is done to you by a family member, but that behavior is harmful to your mental health and to your wellness. For example, somebody who is always criticizing you, you're always being criticized, you're always wrong, there's nothing that you say that is acceptable to that person. They belittle you, they think that you're worthless, you're not good enough in their eyes. So those are some of the telltale signs that I'm not being treated well. And sometimes the person not being treated well tends to be silent, become silent or unseen, because then they don't know what to do. They can't speak up, and if they do, nobody listens to them. So that's a very toxic, how frequently does it happen? If it's so frequent, like forever, then that is the toxicity that we are talking about. So
there are different levels to it.
There are different levels to it.
But then again, is it normal, probably, Dr. Gaido? Is it obvious, rather? Is it obvious to notice? Or probably you grew up with this being the normal, you don't know anything else. And maybe by the time you realize other families do not behave the way my family does, you're probably in Uko 30s, you moved out, you're trying to build your own. Is it that obvious to know that it's toxic?
Thank you for that. I think it is not really obvious because, like, when you're a child, you're growing in a family setup where there is love, there are parents, there are siblings, you're playing, you're doing things together. But at some point, as you say, towards maybe 20s and above, that's when you realize maybe this sibling, maybe this parent has something to do with me that is sort of negative.
Yes.
And it's actually affecting me. And so by that time, you start sort of withdrawing and you don't know exactly what to do. You don't know exactly what to do. You don't know exactly who to report to.
Yeah.
Because you'll find like the other siblings, they are all okay. They are, their communication is okay. They are all playing together well. The parents are, but you're finding there's something amiss in between you and that particular person. It could be even a parent. Yeah, so you just kind of catch it along the way as you grow up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think my next question then would be, sometimes the situation is just stressful and not toxic, really. How do you tell the difference that maybe they're just stressed parents, it's a stressful household and not necessarily toxic? Is it when probably it is intentionally done to you, or is it just maybe that's the way of doing things? How do we tell the difference?
When you think about toxicity,
yes,
it's very subjective.
Okay.
So when you think about what Marion has said and what Dr. Gaido have said, they have spoken about how people withdraw.
Yes.
Now that is the introverted child.
Yes.
But the extroverted child will also react to the stress at home.
Okay.
So toxicity, now the extroverted child is going to be the reactive one, the shouting one, the throwing tantrum one, the one nobody loves me. But the introverted child is the one who will go and hide and keep quiet. But the extroverted child is going to be the talkative one, the one who is not going to be quiet.
Yeah.
When you think about what actually causes family toxicity,
yes,
it's not what happens, it's the experience that child has and the consistency of it. So over time, it started with stress. Oh, dad got laid off, and now there is the stress of money, there is the stress of livelihood and all that. Or dad shouted at mom and whatever is happening. The child lives in this space of chaos, and there is no one to protect. That's what toxicity is.
Okay.
It's your experience of that environment and then not having anybody to protect you.
Okay.
So now you go into self-preservation. And over time, you are going to, now by the time you're 15, 16, that's when we start to see the reaction because of the normal developmental stages of anyone. So by the time I'm 10, I'm beginning to make sense that this is not acceptable.
Yeah.
By the time I'm 15, I don't even want to go home. I want to hang out with my friends and all that kind of thing, because home is not safe. So it is more about what is happening in the home that is helping the family to manage stress, so that the children can know there is a way to feel okay as we go through the stress. You see? So toxicity is not what happened.
Okay.
It's how you experienced it and whether there was help.
Okay.
And that is what you carry throughout your life. By the time umefika 25, now you have the power to, whatever, and you start getting into your adult relationships and realize how broken you are.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for breaking it down, because now we'll get into what do we do when that happens, because this is also family, right? You don't have another one. You don't have like a backup. The thing that happens within you is to want to make it better. I want things to go back to the way they used to be, if they were there at all. Can we just get better? But then you're also leading your own life probably by the time you realize all of this. But Margaret, the title said Toxicity Survivor. And I'd just like probably to just understand what your story is like, what it was like growing up. And as you rightfully said toxicity survivor, then what was that and how did you even recognize it?
Well, basically, just to trim it from childhood, as
Yes.
they have said.
Yeah.
You find that toxicity behaviors, there are those behaviors, bad behaviors within the family, and they are not addressed. They just seem normal. You know, like the way we used to be told that behavior is a disease. So it becomes normal and it settles at that. But along the way, there is that the brain now changes and adapts to that, and everything is okay. Whether you slap me, I'm okay, because I'm used to that.
Yes.
Yeah, so you grow up with that kind of a scenario whereby the abuse is okay. It's a way of survival. So most of the time you're in this survival mode. And as you grow up, as she explained, it's like you are okay, you're good to go, until further, maybe when you have really gone down, maybe emotionally, brain-wise, you're too exhausted. That's when you realize, when the body starts reacting, because actually you cannot take it for so long. There's that breaking point.
Yes.
Yeah, and most of the time it goes to even these lifestyle diseases that you see. You realize, hey, now I'm no longer functioning normal. The energy is gone. All those things that were happening. And actually now you go to the society, like she said, you start from the young age and then you're growing. And then there is that point you're no longer even fit for the society. Somehow you're fighting with almost everything. And somehow you just become that in a cocoon. Now you want to block, like you had just said, something like, sometimes you can even cut off the family. Yeah, someone who has survived this, I've been there, you cut off the family, you cut off everything, and now you want to stand by your own. But there are so many dangers with that. And I don't want to identify myself as a victim anymore, because I've survived it, and I'm here to speak about it, and I'm bold, and I want to help somebody out there who is watching just to know you can actually come out.
Yes, Margaret, if you don't mind, can we probably hear a bit of your story? What was it like when you talk about the abuse that probably happens, that then your body accepts it and identifies it as part of everyday life? What was it like for you? What was your childhood like?
Okay, let me say, I know there are some people out there who subjected me to some of these things.
Okay.
And as long as it's authentic, they have to take it well if they're watching.
Yes.
Yeah, so sometimes the beatings were there. You're young, you're small, you don't even understand where they're coming from. And
it didn't feel like it was discipline. It felt like ni kama nakutolea.
If we check on it, I don't think it was discipline.
Yeah.
It was one of those things of egoistic parents also. Because actually, if you check on how they are bringing of those parents, because right now I've done a background check what was happening. I don't want to actually be there as an advocate for their behavior, but there was some abuse that was actually transferred to the children, because I was not alone in that family. And there was a lot of, like, everything small, there's a beating. In fact, I have a sister who would actually see dad come in, and the first thing she does is just turn her back just to be beaten. Nothing.
Hakuna salamu?
Hakuna salamu. For her, she just reacts to that. Si dada ameingia, wacha nipinduke. Anachapwa kiboko. It was just, it's a thing that I have never understood to date, and I'm not ready to subject even my own children to that. But it was that grievous.
Yeah.
And somehow we enjoyed it, like in quotes. We just knew this was the sort of behavior that would actually it's just there.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't even go to visit other families. So within the setup of the family, that was very normal. Okay. So you adapt to things that are not supposed to be okay, and you take them. So we grew up that way. Until now, you start realizing, like, the age 10, you're like, okay, this is now too much. Sometimes you start now trying to voice it out. And the moment you voice it out, it's another punishment.
Yeah.
Okay? And then it was in that setup whereby it was an alcoholic sort of, setup.
Yes.
Not for, one parent was okay, but the other one was a bit alcoholic.
Yeah.
And actually now, the subjection of even my own mother was actually too bad. Niule anachapwa, you're like, okay. We used to know, like every day. So mnafunga tu masikio in those beds, because there's a session itakuja tu. So growing up in that kind of an atmosphere, it really shaped me so much. And my mother was desperate at one point, and she decided to branch out to boarding schools, whereby you're at peace for 3 months, you come home for 3 weeks, and there's trouble home.
Yeah.
Okay? So with that, remember now you're 10, now you're 15, that is teen life, whereby you're actually checking out everything, you know. There's that mind of a teen, which was not of a child.
You have an opinion now.
Yeah.
I got things to say.
Oh, yeah. So I'm there and I'm like, okay, is this really what I want? No, I want now to protect myself. I really have to branch out. And in the process, what happens? You are actually now vulnerable to the people outside. Anything that seems to give you peace, it's mine. Okay?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. And that is how sometimes, like for me, for instance, I ended up in an early marriage.
Yes.
Because anywhere from home was better.
Than home.
Yeah. So what happens at this age? Remember, your brain is still forming. You're still that young person. You're hardly a teen, and now you're there in this marriage.
Yeah.
And the person also. These people have an eye. They know exactly. They have been listening to you. You empty to them, so they know how to fashion themselves actually and to position themselves to suit you.
Yeah.
So you're a bait, and you're in that trap within no time. And momentarily peace seems to kick in, and you're there thinking, oh, it's okay. I'm there, safe space and all that. Only now to realize the weakness that you came out with, it's a vicious cycle. It tends to attract, you know, those things, you attract exactly what
you're running away from.
You're running away from.
Yeah.
So you find yourself, kumbe, I jumped from this
fire into the frying pan into the fire.
The fire.
Yeah.
So at that moment you're like, it's all cooked, but I'm here. So what happens again? Another vicious cycle.
Yes.
You're trying now to actually cover up, to mask. You're in the filters of, you know, I have a place to call home. This is my place. This is my position. And the total destruction now can really happen when you're actually now trying to form yourself to this institution called marriage.
Yes.
This one can destroy you big time, and especially if you're with the wrong partner. And how do you fall in those wrong partners? You hardly have no time to recheck. Not the tall and dark and handsome thing. You know, those characters, who is this emotionally, you know, financially, all those things that actually make up a character.
You haven't even found yourself.
Definitely.
You haven't.
A sick person looking for another sick person.
Yeah.
The two meet. So more toxicity in life.
Oh, God.
So by the time is running, you ask that question, how did it affect the body? Remember, your brain is actually running 24/7.
Yes.
You hardly have any rest. There are so many insecurities, and what was meant to be for you was security. So in those toxicity positions, what you get is exactly opposite of what a human being should be surviving with. Okay? So within no time, all those things that you call stress diseases, it doesn't matter whether you're in your 20s or 30s or how vigorous you are, they get you. And you know what? They destroy you because actually, and these are diseases that either should be at now 90s, 80s. Okay?
Yeah.
But now remember, you're working overtime. The brain is working overtime. The blood is running overtime. Always on that survival mode. What do you expect? Tear and wear. And you're there. An invalid walking.
Oh my God, I'm getting all kinds of emotions as I'm listening to you, because to be honest, you've been served a dish that you didn't order. This is not what I asked for, guys. And there's no menu. This is what it is. You take it as it is. And the thing that you said about just finding peace anywhere and how that makes sense to you as a person, because it's the only thing you think you need at that point. And healing and family setup and pointing fingers at how we grew up and what things were done to us, we don't question those things. But we've got a question for you, even as we go on a quick break to pay our bills, then we'll be back to continue this conversation. The question that we're asking you today is, how did you realize the behavior was toxic and not just normal family drama? How do you realize the behavior was toxic and not just normal family drama. NTV on all of our social media platforms. Our WhatsApp line is open as well. Call us through as well. We've got a powerful panel, experts wakwapa, to jibu all your questions. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go too far. Welcome back to Your World Tuesday edition, and we're talking about toxicity in the family, when family feels like a battlefield. And like I said at the beginning of this conversation, is that in 1 out of 3 adults, kuna mtu katikati ya hao that is going through like toxicity in the family, or has experienced that in the family. And now we've experienced, of probably talked about what it looks like, what it feels like, for you to be able to identify that this is not just normal, there's toxicity in it. But then my question is, even as you've shared, because it's highlighted on so many things, and I like that you are very vulnerable, Margaret, with your story. And I know we've not even gotten to the healing part, but we'll get there, we will get there. But we look at it on one side. We're looking at probably the child who's receiving this and is going through life in the hands of the folks who are bringing you up in this way. Probably it's a sibling thing, or probably sometimes it's the extended family, but you're in a family that is already handing you this kind of lifestyle. How do we look at them? How do we, what is probably happening on their end that we need to understand as probably children?
The children's end?
The parents or the people who are meeting the toxicity on the others.
Okay. Now, what's happening to the parents is they may not be aware of how their behavior is affecting their children. Okay. Because, as mentioned, they're behaving maybe the same way they were treated when they were children. Okay. It's an intergenerational transmission of abuse. For example, they don't know any other way of parenting these children. Yeah. They didn't find help for their own problems. They didn't get help. They didn't also talk to someone. They didn't even know if it was wrong. They didn't even know if it was wrong. Yeah, it was a way of life. Yeah. It was culture. It was accepted. But deep down inside, there was that feeling of, I'm not happy with this. But so they parent the way they were parented. So what needs to happen is parents need to be aware that they need to evaluate how they were brought up and see how did that affect them. They need to be courageous to face it. It affected me. What help can I get now, even if I'm old? Because there are still parents who are continuing to be abusive to their children, yet they are old, you know, and their children are also old, but they haven't accepted that there's a problem here and that I'm responsible for what's happening to my child. You know, a child is a reflection of the parent, you know, direct reflection of how the parent has brought them up. So they may not be quick to notice the symptoms, but they need to be aware. This is what we need to do as a nation. We need to educate parents on how to recognize behavior that is like mental health related. Like when a child comes and gives you their back for you to beat them, really, is that why you brought them into this world? To be abusing them so much that they can't expect a hug, they can't expect love, they can't expect anything. That's what they know. So even when they want to get married, they will look for someone that can abuse them. Yeah. And then what will happen to their children? They'll go through the same thing. So we need to come to a place where we say enough is enough. Yes. Let us have these conversations in families, because those who are abusive do not allow those conversations. You know, they're like, we can't talk about this. You are the one to blame, you know. It's not me, it's you. You did this, you did that. No, let's have this intentional conversations, peaceful conversations in the family where we respect each other, you know, and call a spade, you know. If I say I'm not feeling good or I'm unhappy about the way you're treating me, then please stop and listen to me as your child, you know. If I'm the parent, and the child comes and talks to me, I should listen. But we say, oh, the child is being rude.
Unajibiza.
You're being rude, you're disrespectful.
Yeah.
What? No, we need respecting each other means listening to each other.
Absolutely.
Yes, to find a solution.
We've been seeing a lot of the young ones, Gen Zs wanaongea. Wanajiongea kabisa na kama wasikizi nyumbani wako pale TikTok waki-address the parents from there. And we had this conversation maybe a few months ago, and there was just something that popped out then about how even in the family setup, as many kids as you might be, sometimes it's just the one child. It's just ni yule tu ndio anakuanga na makosa, ni yeye tu ndio tunaekianga. How do we even explain that? What are the possibilities or probably the reasons behind such behavior where it's just one child amongst the siblings?
Well, for me, I would think like some years during our parents' time, there was this pattern of I've named this child from this side, I've named this child from this side, and there was some sort of favorism. And it is my prayer that that has stopped with our generation or the ones coming before us or after us. Because I think that one really contributed. Because you could find that some parents are calling, my dad, my mom, because they are named after their, So this one who is not named after their whatever side they want them to be.
Yes.
And then this is a naughty child, or one who is not performing in school, who doesn't work to help the others in the house. He's all over outside playing. Sasa huyo ataonewa. That one will find it rough. Yeah. So for me, I think it just depends. Those are some of the qualities that really made some of those things to happen to that one child. Yeah. Because you'll find they are your children, for crying out loud. Yes. You brought them to this world. Yes. So there is no reason why you should favor one to the others, you see. Yeah. You should let your kids be equal. Treat them equal. Kama huyo kona makosa, all of them to lay their issues there. If yours is found to be the one that needs discipline, then there you go with your discipline, but not a matter of favorism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe you can add.
Let me add something that we need to kind of research has shown us that children, every one of us, if you are a part of a family, you have a role to play to keep the balance in the home. Yes. So that's why we talk about birth order. Yes. We talk about the roles we take in terms of we have the family mascot, and the family mascot is the golden child, the child who does everything right, and the child, and usually that child might be, not always, the firstborn, but again, we look at also personalities. Yes. That if you have a choleric child, and that is the extrovert, the goal-directed, the one who wants things to happen, that child will probably be the mascot. Yeah. You know, not the mascot, but the family hero. Yes. Then we have the child you are talking about, who is called the black sheep. Yes. This is the child who actually carries the disease of the family. Because you see, the reason why they are the black child is because they speak. Yeah. You see, so they are the ones who get the punishment. Okay. And then you have the child who is a mascot, as I had mentioned, but the mascot is not necessarily the hero child. The hero child is the one who does everything right. The mascot is the one who is the sanguine in the family. You know, the one who says, "Kwa nini tumenyamaza?" Here you are trying to fix something that is so deep and harsh and hard. Yes. And this one comes with a joke. So that everybody laughs. Yes. And now they do not take things that seriously. They want people to be happy. Optimism. Then you have the lost child. The lost child is the one, alijifundisha. When there is chaos, I find shughuli. Yes. And I am the child who will be the lost child in the family. Yeah. And usually that is the phlegmatic child. They don't like chaos. They are peacekeepers. Awa ni kina Kofi Annan. that let's just kumbaya and be happy, but I am not going to be the one who comes to reduce the chaos. No, I will be sitting over here hoping that if I kohoa, all of you will realize it's time for us to regroup. There is something we call homeostasis in family, and this is where we keep the balance. So a family is a system, and if you look at your car, when one of the components of the engine goes off, the car is not going to move. And so the mechanic has to come check and fix it. Now, what happens with family anxiety and dysfunction is that when one of you goes against what is the norm, the family goes into chaos. And now the black sheep of the family probably is the one who caused the shift in the system. And what are they going to experience? A lot of that negative attention. And then now over time, like I said, toxicity is about consistency of these behaviors and these attitudes. And then over time, that child becomes, the label is, they are the troublesome child, but really they are the representation of the pain in the home. And we need to understand that. So mom and dad who are watching us, every time there is this experience where your family may sambaratika, there is things going on, stop projecting out. Take a mirror and look and say, the emotions that I'm feeling so deeply and so strongly, what have these children triggered in me so that I can heal me? These kids have never lived life before. They are living, and your job is where to train them in the way they should go. And that does not mean breaking their spirit. It means that you hone into and attune into what they are trying to show you they are. So when you discipline, you are not cutting off progress. You are not cutting off them becoming authentic individuals. And the parents who think that your children are the extension of you, you need to look again. Because probably your father and your great-grandfather, you are supposed to do what? To be the extension of them. But we don't need to extend the toxicity. We can address it. And we need to do that. Now, the first thing, like we are saying, it's information. We share information for people to understand. And at some point in our talk today, we need to ask the question of, what are the emotional needs of children? Because remember, toxicity is about emotional hurt. Because we go on, hakuna mtu alikata mikono, tukasoma, tukakuwa ma CEO. But when it comes to dealing with emotions, we revert down to the ego, which is the child brain. And we are now acting like children. You see what I'm saying? Because we are trying to self-preserve.
You know, I'm thinking about all the children that you've named, and I'll probably just have one. Hopefully, that will be the golden one. Just two. Because it's interesting that sometimes we just live life without this information. And the reason we're having this conversation is because there needs to be more conversations around this, and there needs to be more enlightenment when it comes to that. Because Margaret, growing up, now you've gotten out of home because you found your peace, right? But at this point, you still do not know that you need healing. It's just, I am moving with gurudumu ya maisha inasonga na nimepata kaamani fulani. But then how long does it take before you figure out that peace, chaos is nanifuata bado?
Okay, now the trickiest part of this is that where you're heading to, now there is a tighter bond. Remember, now this is now marriage, and now you're there with all the wounds, and you're serving the wounds also, and you're accepting the wounds from the other party also. And actually, somehow, there's something we call trauma bond. So in the chaos, you somehow bond in chaos. And actually, you think that is love. And just to extend on that trauma bond, it's very hard to get out of marriage because of that bond. It's the worst thing that can happen to any human being. And that's why people keep on asking, huyu anachapwa, huyu amegongwa, huyu amekatakatwa, na kesho ako tu huko. The traumas bonded you. The problems bonded you. And that's the only thing that you identify. And somehow you're very okay with it. Remember, this one tuned everything about you. Your lifestyle, the way you think, the way you project, the way you... everything that is coming out of you, the trauma is there. So you can take even 30 years in that without identifying. Remember where I told you the crowning of this is, the end of this is when the body now says it's enough.
Yes.
You can actually fight so much, but not past that. And that's when you find yourself in hospitals and the doctors are saying, wewe unajua sio mgonjwa. You have a nervous breakdown. You know all those things, eh? Like for instance, since I'm here and the experts are speaking, and I'm an expert in this thing of survival. Because they say experience is the best teacher.
That's true.
At one point, I actually had a nervous breakdown. Like you die from here to the foot. And there is no disease. Mpaka nikawambia daktari, you know what? Hata msitoe kitu ingine ati ya kwenda kutafuta sijui ugonjwa gani, because now you have done more than 72 checkouts and there is nothing. And they're like, this, you're so wounded, there is nothing. The nerves cannot actually now even transit anywhere. There is no communication. Nilikuwa nimebakishwa tu kichwa peke yake. What? I mean, the doctors are there using these electrical, someone in the medical field can actually tell me, wanakuchoma, wanakugonga, at least waone kama utarespond kit. Nothing.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So how these things destroy you, in fact, I would rather the physical part where you see, hey, I'm injured here. Kuliko hizo vitu. Oh yeah. Kuliko hizo vitu that tamper, especially with your mental health.
Yes.
Okay? Because the mental capacity, kienda chini, trust me, everything else in you is actually distorted. So you find yourself there and actually now they start feeding you and telling you, you know what, you need to slow down, you need to, because you see the emotional baggage of this toxicity is actually, you seem to be in control of everything. This is how you're fashioned. I have to take care of this, I have to take care of that, and then a breakdown. There is no way actually any functional human being or even a machine, hata ile computer iko pale, ebu ifanya hivi, ita shut down.
Ita shut down.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. So there is a shutdown of almost everything. And as you asked, you can stay for so long until now, especially the body, your engine says enough. Na hutoki hapo. Yeah, so that one I've experienced, and now it was my turning point anyway, whereby I started rethinking, hey, Allah, kumbe, you know. And I started some therapies, especially with my good friend here, Grace, and she brought out something. I didn't know. For me, it was just of those, I'm okay in this setup, and I'm doing very well. And the concept also, kutoka kule, there's something that she said about the golden child and the
lost one, the
black sheep, the black sheep and the golden child.
Yes.
The parents who are watching us out there, try as much as possible. And especially with these generations that we're bringing up, the Gen Zs and the Alphas, people, you should be very careful. Wachana na hiyo kitu ya golden child. No matter what, kumbuka ulikuja kwa dunia. Sasa evaluate yourself and actually sit in that position and say, hey, I faced this, but not these ones, okay? Hata kama kuna mtoto very weak, huyo ni wako na ako hivyo. In the weakness, find some strength, okay? Do not hammer that child, because you see, huyu mtu anaitangwa black sheep sana sana. Did you know those are the best people in the family? But somehow, you know, huyu alisema sana, huyu anajiongea sana, huyu sijui nini. As I say, they want that smooth operator there who is the holy person out there. But huyu black sheep, somehow they went to bad with their parent. How? Ali expressed too much, they know their rights, and they say enough is enough, and they cut it. Look at what is happening to our time today in Kenya. The Generation Z. Hao watu nikiwaangalia vizuri, I'm blessed by the way to have 4 Gen Z, so I've been studying. I've been studying them closely, and these are people who actually, they are getting now what I didn't get, because I was that child who will actually voice out, hey, hii haiendi hivi, hapa ni kule, you know, like aggressive and vibrant and all that. But somehow along the way it dims, because now it is too much and the body is slowing down. So huyo mtoto mnaita black sheep pale, sana sana sio black sheep. And I want to speak to you parents, tafadhali. Stop the golden child thing, stop the black sheep thing. How at water they are unique and they are equally talented for different things. Ndio unaona sasa wanafika hata in the big shows they're like hata nini tuko huku shule tunaenda kufungua hospitali zetu. Yani they are so outspoken and they know exactly what they want, okay? And it's not evil on what they are doing. They are just spoken and they're actually airing it, okay?
Yes.
It's only that with small guidances, because now remember the world is open to technology. That's another level of a massive giant that we have to be very careful. Leo ile kitu ina happen hapa iko America na tunajua. Kitambo we didn't know during our growing times, okay? The world was serene, trees, beauty, I don't know what birds. That's a match that we could interact with. Sasa saa hii ile ina happen saa hii naingia America kwa hii simu.
Yes.
Na nitaitenda. So wale watoto tuko nao saa hii, trust me, wako juu sana. When it comes to technology, they know things, they are fixing things, and we should give them space.
Absolutely.
With guidance. They are experts on this, so that at least they don't go to extremes. Unaona visa vikali sana zina happen today. So, too much brain and too much IT ime attack dunia. So we recollect ourselves as parents. We know we have to go either for lessons, like Madam was saying there. For lessons, we have to know to catch up. Let's catch up with what is happening today, so that that deficit tuifunge. Otherwise, there will be so many experiments. Unakuta mtoto wako ashafanya kitu, you are just there as a observant ama spectator.
Kwa maisha ya mtoto wako.
Exactly.
I reiterate this thing for identifying a child that is huyu ndio yeye, huyu ndio kingpin, everybody else follow in the footsteps, because the other kids also feel some type of way. And then you grow up, and this leads to my next question to you, Marion, the long-term effects of being in that state. When we've talked about how the nervous system just shuts down, what are some of the other things that probably will manifest being in a space that is very, very toxic as a child, even as you're growing up?
Okay, the long-term effects.
Yes.
And that is, the one she shared is like an extreme one. The body remembers. The body remembers.
Keeps a score.
It keeps the score. Like all these beatings are recorded in the body. And that's why a body will, if there is no solution that is found, the body can shut down, as in completely. It could also be one of the reasons that people are killing each other in families. People are dying by suicide, you know. There is anxiety. We have all this depression, bipolar, substance abuse, you know, people finding ways of coping with what is happening at home. And people are going to great extents to just find a safe space where they can be. So if they are accommodated by those they drink with or those they gamble with, they are happy there rather than being at home. So it's important that we sit down as individual families and decide to have a conversation that can lead us to living together peacefully, you know, and appreciating each other, because we are different, you know. Some of these toxic abusers, they want to control everyone. You must do what I say, you must look like what I say. They don't give that freedom for self-expression, you know, sometimes. So, and parents, we also, as children, we also need to extend grace to our parents. They are not doing it intentionally, most of them. It's just default setting and what they know how to do. So can we extend grace to our parents as well and understand they've been through a lot maybe, and that's why they're behaving like that, but that does not mean, it's not an excuse for them to abuse us. So can we have this conversation? And one of the things that can really help is accepting help. You know, it's accepting help and saying, you know what, I think I need help with my child. My child is behaving like this. I'm wondering what it is. Some parents just beat children. They really beat children, and they know it's not right. And that child can now even shut down. Academic performance is not there. And at the end of the day, they become a mental health patient. Is that what you want for your children? No. You know, do you also want to live like that, in that pain, unresolved pain that happened to you long time ago? Yet there is so much help and so much goodwill amongst us, you know, even the government is acknowledging children and having a ministry for children.
Yeah.
So those are the starting points. But at the individual family,
Yes.
what are you doing to bring peace in your family and safety so that your child can be able to come and tell you anything and ask you any question, anything. Yeah, but now it's like tiptoeing around our parents.
Absolutely.
Being very careful, you know? Yeah, because we don't feel safe at all.
It's important to also understand, what is this conversation? If I'm going through the healing and how I need to probably let them know that what happened to me was not right. Is it necessary? Should we do it? Can we just forgive them and move on? We'll be talking about all of that, of course, opening up the floor to our audience to share their stories and also ask questions to our panel. And the question that we're asking you this morning is, how did you realize the behavior was toxic and not just normal family drama? How did you realize the behavior was toxic and not just normal family drama? We're going to pay our bills, but indulge us on our question of the day on NTV Kenya, on all of our social media platforms, and our WhatsApp line as well is open. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Your World. I'm your host, Mwikali, and today we're talking about toxicity in the family. You know, what happens when the people that are supposed to love you, be there for you, hold you down, become the source of your deepest wounds in life? How do you deal with that? How do you identify that? How do you get over that? What are we doing to the next generation now that probably we've gone through that? And Margaret has told us her story, and now she says, I'm not a victim, I am a survivor, and I'm using my story to tell the world, to tell the parents, to enlighten the family unit on what needs to be done. Okay, and the question that we are asking you today on the question of the day is very, very easy. How do you recognize that that was toxic, that behavior was toxic and not just normal family drama? How do you realize the behavior was toxic and not just normal family drama? We've got a bit of feedback on WhatsApp. So maybe we can just take a look at our WhatsApp family wanasema nini kuhusu our question of the day today. So, Philip, there we go. My name, okay, Amiacha, okay. I need assistance because I'm going through something, I think, and it's traumatizing until I can't work properly because of toxic environment, whereby everything bad that happens, it's me. Anyone I come across is a bad person. They scold me instead of them. They hit me hard at personal level. I feel that I've given up. So it's blamed a lot on things that probably they have not even done. You're a parent and you gave your son everything they asked for. After marrying, you rebel against your mom and go into alcoholism and no longer listen to any of the parent. How is this situation handled? Marion, do you want to take that once we read the rest? Following the show from Nakuru, thank you so much. On toxicity in the family, it's caused by emotional and verbal abuse. This can include frequent criticism, manipulation, and making others feel worthless. Projection and displacement. A toxic parent may transfer their own stress, trauma, or anger onto their children. Number 3, unhealthy boundaries. Toxic family members may not respect personal boundaries and they can be controlling. Number 4, isolation. Toxic behavior can sometimes involve a person manipulating others to cut off contact with their own friends and family. Number 5, we have disrespect and jealousy. This can include things like body shaming, neglect, or disrespect during family events. Director Ambrose Lesoy, Children's Officer, MLSF. SSP. Where? Thank you for that feedback. Hello, I'm Collins. I have 21 years. My mother has suffered beatings to the extent that she decided to leave. Now I'm left with my dad, and my dad can't stop drinking. Hata kwa nyumba hakuna kitu ya kukula. So I've decided kuhama before January. Sasa sijui ka nimefanya kitu mbaya. You'll help us with that? Hello, here just from the hospital to check on my Gen Z daughter who had an accident yesterday night, going for a party which I had refused with permission to go. I'm a broken mom. Alikuwa amemnyima ruhusa na akaenda. Gen Z.
Yeah.
I was in a violence marriage. This one has affected my children up to now. They just It's male figure. Okay. I know what it means by, they just hate the male figure. I know what it means by family drama. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Hello, NTV Kenya. I'm Abdullahi. Following the conversation at your World Show, do you mind talking about what a certain child likes doing as a household chore, different from the other children? As for me, I hate doing the dishes, but my mom keeps on pushing me to do so, despite the fact that I've opened up to her that I dislike it. This has led to vita and hata kufukuzwa nyumbani several times. Funny thing, I've also been in the same situation from my brothers' place as well as my sisters, which has led to mental breakdown while in high school era up to date. Please, is it okay for parents to just know your likes and dislikes? Also, is that toxicity? Tatusaidia Grace. Na hiyo, let's take. Hi, I'm Jacqueline Nyambura, taking classes in psychology and counseling at the moment. I'm looking for a space for my practicals. Please kindly assist. We'll have our counselors in the building share where you can find them if there's an opportunity for you. As we speak, toxicity has become a thorn in the flesh right now. Oyamo Evans following from Migori. Okay. Hello, I'm grateful for NTV for coming up with the topic, toxicity in the family. Many of our families are today building jealous, hatred, abuses, and unnecessary wickedness. I pray that, let me call it a family social awareness and protection, be streamlined in the community by the government, because a few reached out to the churches, and when you reach out at times, okay. I am Judith, a mental health counselor and life skills mentor. Okay, all right. And we'll keep checking on the feedback as you send them on our WhatsApp, as you're talking about toxicity in the family. There's a lot going on. But then, do you remember the question?
There was a question on, you've given a child everything they want.
Yes.
Then they get married.
Yes.
Then they begin drinking,
yes,
like alcoholism.
Yes.
How is this handled?
Yes.
So I don't know who is asking the question. I don't know if it's a sister or a mother or whoever, but regardless of who it is that's asking a question, that's a good question.
Yes.
Because watching a family member go down is difficult.
It is.
So it's important for even to have that conversation. For example, if it's a sister asking, can you have that conversation with your brother and tell them that you've noticed that since they left home, they have changed and this is what's happening, what is going on, you know, and do they need assistance? Because their behavior, the behavior of that person who has changed like that is telling a story.
Yeah.
There's something going on, something has changed. Is it like they wanted to be alcoholic when they were in the family but could not do that, so now they are free, now they can go and do that? There's so many perspectives to think about, and so it's important to, as a family, a loving, caring family member, have that conversation with that person, highlight it for them, and even advocate that they can get help. Because if they don't get help, chances are they'll get so much into maybe addictions, and maybe later on it may be difficult to heal that.
Okay.
But the sole responsibility of behavior lies with the person who is doing that, because they're the ones that will really suffer the consequences.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for answering.
May I
Yes.
add a little
Yes.
bit? In addition,
Yes.
the person who wrote the message,
Yes.
there is something they said.
Yeah.
You have given everything to your son.
Yes.
I want to allow parents to consider entitlement. Since I gave you everything.
What is everything?
Since I gave you everything, that is a controlling, it's not a bad thing, it is a desire of every parent.
Yeah.
But your desire for your children to have everything so that they can be what you want them to be cannot be your goal as a parent.
Okay.
Because you will be so disappointed. And then you will get into your own mental health issues when you are supposed to be enjoying your retirement from parenting, your retirement from working so hard to raise a family.
Yes.
You are busy being bogged down by depression and anxiety because you expected your children to toe the line, whatever that line was. So I'm setting you free.
Yeah.
I am giving you information to set you free.
Yeah.
You gave them all they needed.
Yeah.
And now it's their turn to live life. Now, trying to reparent a child who is already a grown-up and they are making certain grown-up choices that are causing their life distress is not possible for you as a parent. There is a concept that we call reparenting yourself as an adult, because your mother has no control now to parent you. Because now you are grown. You are supposed to be parented so that you can go and fly and create your own life. So, Mom, if you are the one who wrote the question, let me set you free. You have done your job. Let the young man decide how he's going to live his life. Start there. Release yourself from the guilt. You are not a bad mother. No. You did all you can. It's time for you to sit back and let him, because sometimes with addictions, people have to hit what? Rock bottom for them to look up. The rest of us, what we are trying to do, they make the mess, we come and clean it up. They make the mess, we come and clean it up. That in itself is toxicity. It's enabling. It is what we call codependency. My joy in my 50s and 60s and 70s as a parent is watching my children fly and be the best they can, but because that is not happening, my joy is gone. Yes. Your joy as a parent is to realize that you raised your children. They have the skills for them to survive in the world. Now, if they are making choices that are creating chaos in their life, please do not look back and say, I made a mistake. You didn't. Okay. So relax. Yes. And then now figure out. Unajua the serenity prayer. Yes. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. You see, the courage. And what is courage? Is actually going while you are afraid. Yes. Courage to accept what I can change. Yes. And the wisdom to know the difference. Mom, brother, sister, auntie, whoever wrote that message, understand this. Make 2 columns. 1, what I am responsible for, and what my child, my cousin, my brother is responsible for. Upate peace. Okay. Peace is what you need within you, but you are judging yourself too harshly.
I love it. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, now just to top up on what Grace has said, fear controls parents. Sometimes you see people who identify, we come from a family of doctors, teachers, lawyers, pilots, and all that. And I used to get A in school, so all my children should actually probably get that A. Well, get all the tutors, feed that A for the time being, as long as that child can accept and take it. Yes. Ni sawa, atakuletea, feed and actually ignore those things that the child wants. Atakuja kama lawyer. But let me tell you something. I've been through it, whereby the fear of what I had gone through, I was now trying to feed the same to my children. Like, okay, maybe you have to be this, you have to be this. They have papers that have actually now been packaged somewhere, and they're actually doing something else. Yes. So, Mom, wherever you are, set your son free, because normally the pressure that sometimes we suppress with these children, actually they are going to respond in ways that, huyu ni mamangu nastaki kumstress. So, like Madam was saying there, atajitoa tu aende, ni kukunywa, wengine ni drugs, wengine ni shutdown, wengine ni, you know, you just package yourself in a cocoon, you don't want anything else to do with that. So your son maybe has gone to that direction, because probably you said it, you gave everything to that child, but the everything, was it what the child really needed? Okay, so once we learn how to set ourselves free, and sometimes just maybe a backup of maybe what the West are doing, because we are heading there whether we like it or not, whereby hata kama mzazi hapa Kenya hajiwezi, unakuta kuna familia inataka kuadopt ule mtoto, unakuta mama ametumia madrugs, ni toxic kabisa, hata hajiwezi, unakuta kule ngambo mtoto anapewa kwingine hata bila, you know, like they just take off the child knowing that save space for this child. So maybe with time tutakuja, kwa sababu wazazi wengi pia tume bring up, like for instance, let's look at the case study of Margaret. You were so exhausted emotionally and brain work, and now you're here with 4 Gen Zs. What do you expect? Yeah, what do you expect? There's that now thing. I had to actually now go back to myself and repackage and use, you know, reparent. Like Grace said, you reparent yourself and realize, hey, hapa. And actually, I don't know, Grace, you can correct me and the people who are here who are experts, because at one point I had to share my life with my children, so that because there were so many things, sometimes maybe I would just numb and I'm just vulnerable and I'm just not able to tulikaa chini hivi kwa kikao hivi tukaongea mambo mengi sana, of course watching out so that you don't do some emotional damages on them, because again I cannot empty the full emotional thing. We talked, and actually I've made journals, and just to let you know, I've done a few books, and well, just to help people out there to know the world is not so heavy. You can actually, you can come back, you can be restored, and actually that parent out there, have a dialogue with your son. It's never too late.
Yes.
A child cannot just be too rebellious. Trust me, the people whom actually subjected me to this so-called tough toxicity, today we hold hands. We hold hands, because there's a day I just realized, you know what? Mimi kama Margaret, the first person to heal, it's me.
Yes.
Hata kama nimeanguka aje, like you say, the rock bottom, you have to look up. And before you get there, mama, your child, jua tu, mlete tu kidogo. We are never too rebellious to parents. Of course, we have that African thing, the culture, although sometimes your culture naona ni kama tutaachilia kidogo, because in Africa, again, what I've realized, we have 2 giants that are actually eating the society, the cultural beliefs and the religion. Religion is deadly. Mkicheza pia hiyo ni kitu ina brainwash. You become vulnerable to everything. So we watch everything with moderation.
Absolutely.
We check, we borrow a few leaves from the West. Let's apply it. No matter how much we feel like we are Africans, it's okay, we respect that space. Lakini tafadhali, wacha tuwe na freedom kama mzazi, so that we are healthy to bring up our children.
All right. You wanted to add something?
I just want to say one thing: the importance of sharing our stories with our children. It's so important. Protecting them, what is appropriate to say based on their age, but it's so important so that they can understand where are you coming from as a parent. What, you know, even they need to understand their grandparents. How was grandpa brought up? How was grandma brought up? What did they go through, you know? And then how now did my mom experience these parents? Because once they understand, then they are able to understand the challenges that their parents had, the challenges that their grandparents had, and then choose the life that they want. What is it about how my parent was parented? Do I want to carry on? What do I want to not, you know, sambaza to my children? If it's a violence, I don't want that violence. But there are some good things that were there. And how has my mom survived this, you know? Then I'm like, oh, she's courageous. She accepted to go for help. She has done everything possible. So the child learns that I don't need to get stuck with my problems or with my pain. There is help, and it's okay to go talk about it. Yeah, so understanding the family of origin is very, very important
as well.
And also, like today, our parents, we are now saying that we don't want to bring our children the way we were brought up. We want to be better parents. We don't want to be those carrot and stick parents, you know, too tough, that we cannot sit and dialogue. And like the viewer was asking, I think it was Collins, who said that the father really beat the mother till she left. And now even him, I remember he was Collins. So even him, he has also left because the father is drinking too much. There is this Oedipus complex in psychology, where a son leans more to the mother, while a daughter leans more to the father. And so that's why Collins felt, me, I can't stay here when my mom is maybe suffering outside. We don't know the age of Collins, but we want to let Collins know that it is not his business. It's not his fault. That this is happening in the marriage. It could be a personality of one of the parents, but of course you don't you don't accept that drinking will make someone stay in that home, because it will come up with so many other challenges. So it is also a safe space for the mother to step out a bit, and also for him, but he should know exactly where he's going and what he's going to do, so that he can get the right company where he's going to get help, and also make sure that he's also set boundaries between him and also the father, so that he also doesn't get into the same into the same habit. And also now to even, you know, like call the rest of the family members, the uncles, church, you know, or the community to just help and see whether something can be done. And if worse come to the worst, just go for therapy, enough to let them build up that family. I
like that Collins also texted in, because this is the conversations that he needs to be listening to, so that he doesn't get probably distracted with what is safe and peaceful for him out there. And we've got about 5 minutes to go on a break. I will open up the floor. We'll start with you, Mwanaharakati.
Okay, I'm Mwanaharakati J. Habuba, and under toxicity in the family kuna watu wawili tunasahau. Kuna yule mtoto mamake aliolewa naye akaja kwa ndoa. Na kuna yule mtoto mzee alikufa, mamake akarudi kwao akaenda akamzaa. Alafu sasa hapo kuna uncles and the aunties. So unakuta kwamba hawa watoto wawili huteseka sana. Being one of them, mimi nili experience sana kuona elimu siwezi pewa. Until time ilifika priest akanichukua kusomea kwake kuanzia class 3 hadi kumaliza form 4. Where after kupita ndio family imekuja, huyu ni mtoto wetu, huyu ni mtoto wa ndugu yetu. Na the time wamesumbua mashamba, hawataki hatu uende hapo nyumbani. Until mimi nikasema, by the way, kama walitesa mama juu yangu, kwa sababu nimezaliwa, mama alikuja na mimi. So pia mimi si wao. Because yule mwenye alikuwa na ukoo wao ni mzee ambaye alikufa. Sio mimi, na nikazaliwa nje. So unakuta watoto wasipopata yule mtu anakuwa karibu nao, hawa watoto wanajichukia, wanajitenga na familia. And for me, I can say from 2018 vile nilitoka kwa mikono ya priest, mimi sijawahi enda home, na kama nikienda home siwezi kaa kwa hiyo familia, nachukuanga rental hata kama ni 3 months, nina rent, alafu ninamaliza kitu nafanya, narudi kuja penye naishi hapa Nairobi. So watoto kama huwa wanateseka na wanapitia magumu, na wakati mwingine unapata kuna mtu anasema, wajua mimi naweza jimaliza, naweza jiua, ama mtu kama hawezi jiua anasema acha nikuwe mtu wa drug, ama anaingia kwa vikundi, and then atakuwa maana siku yenye amekufa. So tunahitaji pia kuangalia swala kama hilo. Thank you.
Asante. I think itaangaziwa. Mmesikia Kiswahili yangu? Yes, Steve.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Steve. Mine comes from a conversation I had yesterday with one of the merchants around home. And this, I don't want to call him an old man, but akona tumiaka. He was very angry because he confronted me and told me, do you feel like whatever happened, there's a video trending, I don't want to go into details, concerning a father who was a politician and the daughter and all that.
Okay, you know? Okay. The Mike Sonko one.
Yeah, so he said one thing that kidogo ilinitingiza, and he said marriage is sacred. And it's supposed to be a thing between two people, you know. So why are you bringing in a third party? And I sat down and asked him, you have 2 daughters. What happens in a case where you're called and you're told, mtoto wako, you know, akasema hapana, you know. And he went on to say, siku moja utaoa. And I told him, for me, ukinishinda, first thing in the morning, na kufungia vitu zako vizuri, ukitaka hata kubeba TV ukaochie kwa room yenu huko kwenu, because there's honestly there's no need for the violence. And I feel like it's too much, and based on what has been mentioned concerning the religious extremism and all that, I feel like now it's becoming too much, you know. Unaambiwa vumilia.
So question ni tunavumilia ama tuvumilii na kwani ni ya watu wawili? Was it wrong to have the dad come into the picture? We have a minute to go before we go on a break, so we'll take one question. Yes.
Yes.
Itakuwa one yako ilikuwa ile question ama ni story? Then maybe we can have it. If we have like one question, then we can give you a bit more time.
I have a comment.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a microphone?
Yes.
Okay, then use it. Yes.
I'm Okelo Steven, and
Yes.
This thing called constant criticism in the family.
Yes.
And this affects most of kids and even couples.
Okay.
Then this instance where you do something for someone, but they just belittle you. They don't appreciate.
Yeah.
They criticize everything you do in the family. So these things destroys the kid's spirit, because anasema hata kama nitafanya bado mama atakubali.
Itatosha.
Yeah, itatosha. So somebody tries to do their best, but no one to appreciate them. Yeah. Then this thing also affect the couples. Unapata kama mama amepiga duster vizuri pale. Then unapata mimi kama mwana wa nyumba, mimi ni baba wa nyumba sasa. Nakuja na matope na kanyaga tu, I don't see the worth. So this lady feels I'm not valued here, because anything I do, he doesn't take it serious. Even pale mama saa zingine anaweza Teresa aongeze chumvi ikuwe mingi kwa chakula. There's a way to correct. Unamwambia babe, chakula yako ni tamu lakini leo ulivisit duka sana.
Kachumvi kameenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, so we're going to take a quick break. I know we've not answered your questions, and we come back, we'll have the questions answered and take more questions from the audience. But the question that we're asking you today is, how do you know or realize the behavior was toxic and not just normal family drama? We'll be looking at your feedback on WhatsApp as well, NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Relationship Tuesday on Your World. We're talking about toxicity in the family, and the question that we're asking you today is, how did you realize that that behavior was not just Kirea family drama, it was toxic? How do you realize the behavior was toxic and not just normal family drama? And on Facebook, Mwangeli Ruth says, it's time we start to accept that what we experienced growing up, the beating, the verbal insults, was not tough love, but outright abuse, which continues to affect how we function as adults and see life at large. It is only by accepting that we change the narrative for our children. Josie Musao says, don't remind me of those years, what we went through. Ni God, kwanza my own mom, ni vile siwezi ongea, it's painful. Josie, may you find healing. Masabe Castle says, tough reality talk. Alvin Kibruto amedecide kutuambia ni economy ndio imetufikisha hapo. God, it will be good at the end of this year. Everyone should get a certificate at the end of the year. Surely. Winnie anasema, wanawake hukapitia kweli kweli. Cecilia Mwangi says, me can't give him a chance. Why? Ni kutoroka huko hata wewe kuniona tena. Someone else says, women play victim. Michael Rass. Women play victim like they're the only people suffering in marriages, but the reality is that men suffer a lot. 80% of gender violence is possibly started by women. Do they play victim, or are they the ones that talk? Do you have something to say about this? I feel like we shouldn't leave it hanging.
You know,
yes.
If I were to, myself, I approach everything from personality.
Yes.
So a woman who is a choleric,
yes,
that is the outspoken woman, the alpha woman,
yes,
who is married to a phlegmatic man. She will constantly bring up issues.
Yes.
And so she will be experienced as the aggressor.
Yes.
And the phlegmatic man, who might probably be also choleric or melancholic,
yes,
is going to react, the fight-flight response to stress, is going to react according to his temperament or his personality, and probably because he's not expressive, he is going to use what? Action. So either withholding, humiliating with short words that are humiliating or disrespectful, or he might use his physical power. You see?
Yes.
So we need to understand that at the core of our reactions, there is mental health issues going on. So, and though our mental health reactions to life or to the situations we have are really rooted in how we are wired.
Okay.
And so, yes, I think the women will report more because the men the men are being seen as the aggressors because they use force. While the women will use subtle ways of toxicity.
Yes.
Like now withholding a lot of things that the man needs. And then the man is going to react because he is a man and because also his personality will show up the way it will show up. So there is a bigger conversation here about the core relationship in family, which is the couple relationship.
Yes.
So when that is not working, then the rest of it isn't going to work.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so the question is, why is it there are more reports of women being in whatever this
say it's gender-based violence,
GBV than men? Part of it is probably because the women are the ones who are crying wolf. I'm using that in quotes. While the men, they have been socialized kuwa tu mwanaume aje tena unawezaje
kuwa. But it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
No, it's
so it's
there.
not them necessarily playing victim. It's just because it's the voice that is loudest, the voice that is hard. It does not mean that the other gender is also not going through the same. And even the conversation is about being more vocal as men. When this happens, do not kangumu. We are way past that. We have emotions, we have feelings, we can talk about it. Marion, you wanted to add something?
You've said what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that men need to accept that they are suffering. Most of them suffer in silence. Because they want to protect their ego. Like if I say that I am being abused, how will that look like? The other men will wataniangalia, aje, how can you be suffering? But the truth is, there are very many men and boys who are suffering. And we need to accept that it's happening and stop it. Because research also shows that most of the people that take their lives are the men. And the boys, they are not talking. So they opt to die instead of having these conversations. So our family setups need to be safe spaces where we can have these conversations of what I like about the way you treat me and what I don't like, and how can we live better, how can we relate better as a sister, as a brother, given there are those who will not want to listen to those conversations. But you'll have tried. The thing is, try and see if you can have more peaceful family relationships. And if somebody then is not interested in the conversation, then sometimes you find walking away
is also an option.
It's also an option.
I think, and that leads us to the question that Steve asked. We just tied it in nicely, so maybe you can help us.
True. Steve asked whether you have to stay if you're not agreeing. And I think for me it depends with how you started. How you started, the grounding of your relationship. It must have been either solid or shaky. If it was not solid, then it will start having issues almost immediately. So there is need for premarital counseling, not the ones that we go to KFC and just have coffee 3 times and then we are married. You see, within the 5th month, mutakuwa tu mshaachana because you like didn't know each other very well. Get to take your time, like just take your time. Not like our days, it used to be a year or a month and tumeolewa na tunajikuta tumeolewa and we don't understand what marriage is. So you guys now have time because you have seen how your parents' marriages have been. You've seen the toxic ones and you have seen the neighbors who are good, your friends' parents who are, who are good who had good marriages.
Yes.
So for me, I would say, let everything start from the beginning.
Okay.
Start from the foundation. Once you have that good foundation, indeed, it will just go up well.
Okay.
But when it reaches a point, you start noticing that this person is not the one I knew, or they have changed, they've become something that I didn't expect, then that time you can start first seeking help, or go back for therapy again. But if it becomes worse, you find your way, because your sanity comes first, your mental health comes first. Because I don't know whether it's the COVID vaccine, or it's the economy, as they say, or what.
There's something in the air.
There is something in the air that is not really working in terms of relationship.
Yes.
And we just pray that God just comes through at some point.
Very Akuje, because every Tuesday we have something to say. Yes, and then you can get to you. Yes.
I agree with Dr. Naomi. Now, we do need to also understand that when you have couples therapy and family therapy is about skills building. It's actually life skills.
Yes.
So, tafadhali, if you have gotten your loved one, your do or die,
yes,
that is not enough. Love is never enough. There is a book that is written. What you need to add to your love is communication.
Yes.
Effective communication. Number 2, it is conflict management, so that you can resolve the problems you have in your relationship, so that now your love can actually thrive. What happens is that now we live on what we call the dream stage of marriage. And when the drama stage comes in, we don't want the drama. What is drama? Drama basically is learning how I'm going to deal with you the way that you do that toothpaste, the way you cook your food, the way you leave things on the table after you have used them.
Yes.
You see, those are the things. Ati unakujanga utoi viatu pale nje, unaingianga na viatu kwa nyumba. And that for me is a no-no. Those are the things that we are fighting about. And in, like you said, 5 months later, we are done. I can't handle, I can't deal. So this is the thing. I remember one time, Mwikali, we were with you at Switch. And we talked about relationships. And I said, you've got to define what the problem in your relationship is, and then look for the person who can help in that area. If it is religious, then look for your pastor. If it is communication skills and personality clash, look for me and the others. We are here. We are the experts for giving you life skills for your relationship. Now, if it is you, umejiona kabisa ukasema, me, the way I deal with anger, the way I deal with disappointment, I need help. Then look for one of us, so that you can do what we call the process of self-awareness, clarity, and insight towards healing.
Yes.
And then we will not have all these problems we are having, where people are going to parents, they are going to friends and all that. Look for an expert who is good at the subject that you are fighting about in your home or in your relationship.
Absolutely. Margaret, you wanted to Adama amesema point yako.
So there's something still pending, kidogo.
Yes.
Oh no, it's just about the guy who brought up this debate from the Facebook and now combined with Steve. Now, when I check on this guy from Facebook who is saying that women, they play victims, I tend to differ with that. Let me tell you something. Considering how Kenya is today, and actually the prisons, let's go to that sensitive part of prisons. In today's Kenya capacity, tuko na wanaume kama 20,000 kwa prison. Only 2,000 women in prison. So men, actually, as we have all mentioned now when it comes to Steve, self-control, because Steve is projecting a self-control scenario whereby in future, in case this wife is stubborn and all that, instead of beating somebody's daughter, instead of reacting, instead of that toxicity you are emptying on someone's daughter, what do? We peleka hata nyumbani, TV, nimekuacha hivyo. You know, that safe space, eh? Okay, now, the thing is, that man should know that men are suffering. We don't say they are not suffering. They are victims who have taken action. nachapa mtu, naua mtu, nafanya, because case related studies on Kenyan prisons 90% ni relationships. Zingine ni civil, wizi, ni nini, lakini nyingi sana ni relationships zimeweka wanaume kwa jela. Yeah, and the men should be careful. Self-control doesn't mean you're weak. You're told not to cry. Cry until everything goes. Tukitoka tu bado wewe ni mwanaume, hakuna mahali umechange.
That's true.
Yes, so let's not play strong.
That is so true. Okay. There was a question on criticism?
Criticism.
Yes.
Now, Moikali, I have to say,
yes,
we cannot divorce mental health from relationship health. What is mental health? Is the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act.
Yes.
How are those important? Because a situation will happen between all of us here. Each one of us will react to that situation differently.
Yes.
Why? Because we are wired differently. First of all, your DNA, and then number two, your experience in life. You see, what you have experienced. So you have learned how to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And so we need to understand that criticism hits the brain. And like Margaret said, once the brain is hit, the body reacts to the brain.
Yes.
And once the body reacts to that brain, there is an action which becomes a habit of me protecting myself. You see? So that is how now the criticism that is happening within the family is going to continually drain the ability of us being able to kind of connect our emotional brain with our logical brain. You see, our logical brain is that we are grown.
Yes.
You see, but my emotional brain is wounded because I lacked acceptance and love. I lacked competence because I was not celebrated.
Yeah.
And number three, I lacked safety because I was beaten up so much, both verbally and physically. And then lastly, I was never allowed to grow. So I had no control. Control was taken away from me. Those four things, once they happen to us as young people growing up, then we are not going to be resilient in life. And so we live in black and white. So when things are not going well, I want to go to the extreme.
Yes.
And when things are going well, I am so happy. I don't have a middle. These going well things, they are not helping me when I am down in the dumps to be able to lift myself up. You see, and so I struggle. And in this place of struggle, then my brain is breaking down.
Yeah.
So individuals who are coming up from homes where you are criticized a lot, be careful, because if you don't do the shift, what we call neuroplasticity, and allow your brain to recalibrate, you repeat the same message to yourself.
Yeah.
So that now you self-sabotage. And you are not going to enjoy, even you become a CEO or whatever, you are not enjoying it because that voice in your subconscious consistently is triggered. That is what we call mental health.
Yeah.
And now we do, so that now I can be able to walk you through the process of saying that was my mother's voice.
Yes.
It's no longer mine. So what is my voice? I look at me, Grace, and I say, you see, we had the question about washing dishes. I was laughing because that was not my forte also. Because, and I want to say this,
yes,
for the person who asked that, because it's also a mental health issue.
Yes.
It's the way that I'm conceptualizing it. But there is a gap. So I am not good at washing dishes. What am I good at? So that I can have a negotiating space.
Yes.
And I can come to mom and say, or my brother, and say, mimi, mambo ya kuosha vyombo haki jamani, nipatieni kazingi. Ama niseme, this is what I'm good at. What is my relevance in this family unit? Because there is no way tutapika chakula, we do all the work, and you come and eat, and when we need to do the washing of dishes, you go back. And you didn't do anything.
Yes.
So allow yourself, as the person who is saying it has happened at home and it is now happening at my brother's house.
Yes.
Then there is an issue with you. Ask yourself, what is it that you are good at in the running of the home so that you can negotiate?
Okay.
Please musiniambie nioshe vyombo, lakini I can do X, Y, Z. So that you also figure out whether you are lazy whether you are avoiding responsibility. So if the problem is with you, you can fix it.
Absolutely.
And I hope I have answered that.
I think you have. Maybe then if I was to be put in that space, and I'm sure my parents are watching, hapo kwa kazi zote ni kama sikuwa nataka. Staki kufua, staki kuosha. Staki tu fanya kazi kuwe na hela. Ndio wish hiyo maisha unataka.
There was a question here.
Yes. Yes, on
the child.
Yes.
There was a question on the child who comes with a mother
Yes.
into a new marriage.
Yes.
Now, that child is not at fault at all. Amejipata hapo, you know. And this person who has taken the mother with this child has accepted to do so. So number one, this child should not be mistreated, or there should be no discrimination.
Yes.
Because as we know, children are a gift from God. However they come, wherever they came from, you know, just accept the child. That child is a gift to you. And take time to understand the child when they come into the home, because you are not their parent and you were not there when they were born, and it depends also a lot on when they came. They cannot like instantly be expected to take a liking to you, or to, you know, there's some, those new parents, sometimes they take the child and start saying, now I'm your dad, now I'm your mom, you have to do what I say, blah, blah, blah. But this is a human being. Respect this human being. Take time to interact with them and to know them well. And you'll just find at some point, you may not even have to tell them that call me daddy or call me mommy.
Yes.
They'll just automatically call you if you have those the qualities that they are looking for, and they appreciate what you're doing for them. Otherwise, they can call you mommy and daddy, but they are resenting you, you know, all their life, you know. So there should be no discrimination, and those who can help, like that priest helped this person, that was very commendable, because we should not just watch children suffering and do nothing about it. If there's anything you can do, please do and help. And again, it's all about information. Get the information. There's so much in this nation right now about families. So thank you.
That is so true. Okay, we've got about 6 minutes to the end of the show. We'll take probably 2 questions that they can be answered well. We'll have Mcheshi.
Hi everyone. Mrembo Mcheshi Kananu Catherine here. My question goes to that parent who has a special child, like a child with a special need. And this parent thinks that this child is frustrating, is a burden. And at the end of the day, you'll realize that that parent now transfers every kind of anger to that child, beats that child like she wants to kill because of the frustrations. And this child now will grow up knowing that I am not wanted here, like my condition is a mistake, and like they will never feel accepted. So what can be done to such a parent? What message do we have to such a parent? And is it that they also need therapy? Is it that maybe there's some part of them that has not healed, or what can be done to them?
Thank you so much. Can have the other question. Oh, okay.
My name is Juliet. My concerns goes to this vacuum we so-called maturity. You can get in a relationship, a lady is matured enough, but the man is somehow childish. So to end the battlefield, I think before the partners goes into something called the marriage, they should just seek for counseling. Because immaturity ya wanaume, it can lead a lady to in frustrations, and then they acquire somehow mental. And then you stuff immaturity pia, it can lead to ile tabia inaitwa snatching.
Snatching the gun. Question.
Good morning, my name is Anita. So it's evident that toxic upbringings rewires who we become in terms of shaping our personalities, how we relate with each other, and also, as Juliet has said, that later on in romantic relationships, you find that there are people who have different attachment styles, and maybe that's based on their upbringing. People who are avoidant, securely attached, etc. And so my question, I guess, will go to Chris. In your professional experience, do you think that healing can transform our personalities? And also, Mikali had mentioned something that we've not gotten clarity on. Can healing occur without confrontation?
That's a good question. Okay, yeah, I can take that. Now, I was thinking about that as you said, we are coming to the end. I wondered, have we given solutions yet? Now, this is the process of healing, and I really love what, I forget your name, what you have said. When you come to me for couples therapy or personal therapy, there are 3 assessments I do first. Number 1, what is your temperament? And temperament is that part of your personality that is ingrained. That's the way you are. You are either an extrovert or an introvert or in between. So I need to know that about you. I need to walk you through that process of self-awareness. Number 2, I need to know your attachment style. How were you raised? How did mom and dad, how did you experience them? We are not judging them, we are talking about your experience, because now we get to your brain and your memory. What you remember is usually triggered by what is happening here. When you're under stress, you don't have the capacity to problem solve. You have the capacity to just self-protect. And so I want to know, how were you raised? How do you attach to relationships? And you attach either anxiously and preoccupied, where the thing is, love is medicine for me. If you don't talk to me, if you're not connecting to me, I have no life. Yes. And so my immune system, when it comes to attachment and relationships, is very low. Number 2, I am the kind of person who's dismissive, which means that I do not necessarily believe in this intimate relationship, this vulnerability. If you come too close to me, I pull away. Then number 3, fearful avoidant. I love love. I want it. I need it. But I am so scared of it. So I come into there, and then I start to feel like you are pulling away. I pull away. And the way I pull away is it's going to wound me and also wound you. So that is assessment number 2. Assessment number 3 is your mental health, which is how do you think. So black and white thinkers, they are the people, when something happens, it's all my fault. They victimize themselves. There are others who are pessimistic. If it happened before, it's going to happen again. So they never forgive. They never let go. There are those who minimize and they say it's nothing. The men that we are talking about who just say, mimi ni mwanaume, all that. There are those who magnify. A small thing becomes a big thing, catastrophizing. And then lastly, we have those people who emotionally reason. So if I feel it, ulinikosea, it doesn't matter. You don't love me, you don't care about me. So what we are talking about, the process of healing from family trauma, is for you to walk through those things, because what you experienced during your upbringing affected those 3 parts of your life. Your social life, your mental wellness, plus now your ability to think logically. And so you are overwhelmed by these emotions. Now we are talking about the experience of the toxicity. And so it's very important to understand, those who are raising children right now, this is where you need to go. Understand that your child experiences whatever they experience. If you do not help them resolve whatever the emotion is, that's what is going to become toxicity.
Great. And I absolutely agree with what you said before you started the answer, is that we've not really gotten to the solutions. We have not even touched it. And this is to say, next week, if you are all available, we can change the topic from toxic in the family to how do we then heal. So we have a part 2 of this conversation and go deeply into what happens now. We've identified it, we've seen how it manifests, but then what now? Even as we answer the question of, do we confront? Do we not? Do we forgive and live our lives the way we want to? But our time is up, and I'd like probably 30 seconds each. Philip, can I get 30 seconds for each guest? Yeah? 10 seconds? 15. Okay, 10. 10 seconds as your parting shot as well. But we promise to have this conversation next week, Tuesday, same time, same place, as we look at how to heal then. Marian?
Okay. Yeah. As families, we need to be intentional about healing our families.
Absolutely.
Nobody will do it for us out there. We have to do it ourselves, come together as families, have conversations, and then also seek family therapy or mediation and individual therapy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a process.
All right.
Yes.
Daktari, your 10 seconds.
Yes. Everything is workable. Let's put ourselves first. Self-care, self-love, and know that your sanity comes first.
Grace.
Kindness, mutuality, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yes.
Empathy, walk in somebody else's shoes, what are they experiencing? And compassion, what can I do to change their situation?
Margaret, 10 seconds.
Yes, just to sum up what we have talked about today, accountability, respect, those are catalysts to actually help everyone out there who is facing toxicity, and actually allow yourself to heal. You're the first person who will allow yourself, when you hit the rock bottom, come up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Philip. I know we've not answered all of your questions, but you promised next week, Tuesday, we finish this conversation? All right, great. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you tomorrow. I wish you an amazing, amazing, amazing day, and choose healing today. Adios.